Hi everyone, Niklas Heidloff here from IBM and OpenNTF. Today we are announcing a new OpenNTF project called XSnippets. And when I say we, I really refer to a couple of people that most of you probably know. Frank van der Linden, Serdar Bazgmes, Bruce Elgott and we teamed up to build the next generation of the OpenNTF code bin. While the projects on OpenNTF typically have multiple releases and there's a full lifecycle management for these projects, snippets are much easier. They're basically just a couple of lines of code that people want to share with other people easily. So, as I said, one goal is to provide this next generation code bin. Another goal of this project is also to document how we do certain things or have done certain things. For example, how we track work using Lotus Live activities, how we do source control management using SVN, how we have done mockups, and how we have implemented certain parts of the system. But before I talk about that in more detail, let me give a quick demonstration of the functionality. This is the existing code bin on OpenNTF, and it really doesn't look that beautiful because we haven't really updated the style to the new style of OpenNTF. There's some metadata for each snippet, legal disclaimer, then the actual code, and at the bottom you can enter comments. And this is what we have so far. It's an intermediate stage. We haven't published that on OpenNTF yet. It's work in progress. But this is the idea, is to have a home page with a couple of views. For example, the most recently added snippets, and also here at the bottom the popular snippets. And we want to add some more views to find by author and special types of snippets, etc. Talking about types, each snippet can have a type like JavaScript, server-side or client-side, CSS, and we also want to add Java and XSP code. So when I open one of these entries now, I get directed to the snippet UI page, and it's really simple on purpose. There's really just the actual snippet and some metadata like the author, the number of downloads, and the language type. Now, what's important for us is also to be able to identify popular snippets and to know how many times a snippet has been downloaded. Now, there is no download button, and we don't want to add one because it feels unnatural, because really as an end user you want to copy and paste from a web page. Now when you do this, or actually before I do this, let me go back to the Notes client, and this is the same XSnippets database. And in here we track the number of downloads. So right now the total number is 5. Now when I go back and I do a select all and then copy to clipboard and then switch back to the Notes client, the downloads have been increased. Right? And that's important for us to identify popular snippets that we list on the home page. So that's one feature we have implemented or experimented with. Another feature is an ability to embed this snippet easily in your own blocks. So that's why we added here this embed functionality. And what you get here is some HTML that you can copy and paste in your own HTML page. In this case, I posted it in here in another XPage, but it could be any HTML page, obviously. It's just an iframe. And when I go back to here, you see that particular XPage with the snippet, and it's really only the snippet. Right? So this is the iframe, and this is the rest of the page. Now again, I can copy and paste and say copy, and even then our download numbers are increased. So that's basically the functionality we have so far. Again, this is work in progress, and we have many more ideas. If you have ideas and want to see certain features, please let us know. Now, as I said earlier, another goal is to also document and explain how we have done certain things. So the first thing we actually did was to set up a new activity on Lotus Live, because we all come from different companies, and this is a really easy way for us to collaborate. And here's where we track our tasks and implementation specifications and discussions and all these things. For example, what we have done here when we started with the project is to add this section look and feel, and we created these two mockups here, one for the home screen and one for the snippet UI. This is essentially what you can see here. This is the home page that I showed earlier, and this is the snippet UI. And while we didn't implement them one-to-one, obviously those were really good for us to get the discussions going about what we need and what's important, what not. And we will obviously continue to work on these designs and the implementation as we go forward. Also, another thing I wanted to point out is that we use SVN for source control management. There is an SVN server available on OpenNTF, and if you have a project with more than one person, you can create your own projects on OpenNTF. And obviously we also are using the new functionality in 8.5.3 to synchronize on-disk or NSFs with so-called on-disk projects that can be synchronized to the SVN server. So these are just a couple of ideas and things we have worked on. Again, our goal is to provide or to do more of these videos and talk in much more detail about the things. But for now, I hope you enjoy it, and please provide us feedback. We are really motivated to get this going and make it successful. Thanks a lot.